In this video, we're going to be covering 10 watch collecting mistakes that every collector, including myself, has made. Welcome back to the Chisholm Hunter channel. My name is Harrison, as always. And before we start this video, if you can do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button to help a fellow watch nerd out, I'd really appreciate it. And I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but there was a point in time where I sold my Omega Great White, my first Omega Great White. And then I sat in bed after that, stared at the ceiling, and almost cried. And I thought, why, oh why did I do that? And that's what we're going to be covering today in point number one. At number one, we have trying to flip your watch. And yes, we've all thought of it. Yes, we've all thought, if I buy a watch at £1,000 and then sell it at £1,200, I'll make £200, which actually realistically is not £200. You'd probably make about £100 after everything goes into it. But that isn't what the industry is about. It's about the connection that you create with your timepiece. Also, the watch market is extremely liquid, extremely liquid, especially after COVID. There was a huge spike over COVID because everyone had disposable income that they weren't spending on holidays, so they were spending on watches. And as a result, the market became very buoyant because of that, because there was so much more money being pumped in to the market. Now, after COVID, across the board, most watches have fallen in secondary value. So the odds of you making money on watches is rare to nothing. This actually happened with the Tudor Pelagos FXD. I'm not sure if you guys remember this one. It had the fixed bars. And basically what Tudor had done is they'd put 2022, I believe, on the back of the watch. And then the next year would be 2023, 2024, so on and so forth. Now, everybody believed that the 2022 version, I think it was, don't quote me, would go up in value. So everyone invested in this watch or tried to invest in this watch. And then afterwards, they realized that actually, it's just the same watch as the 2023 version with a tiny, slightly different text on the back. So the secondary market values dropped. So everyone that didn't get into watch collecting for the right reasons and buy that Tudor for the right reasons got stung. And quite rightfully so, because you shouldn't be in the watch industry just to flip watches. And number two, we have letting others shape your opinion. And yes, this includes me. I know this includes me. So on this channel, I try to be very inclusive of everyone's opinions, because just because I don't like, I don't know, green dials doesn't mean that you won't like green dials. So I try and have a very well-rounded approach. I fell in with the wrong group of friends when I think I was about 17 or 18, a good few years ago now. I'm 26 now. I fell into this group of friends. They were not a great bunch of guys. And I used to do photography, still do. I'm now a photographer, but I was doing photography and one of my friends messaged me saying, it's really embarrassing for us that you're doing photography because you're not very good at it. We don't want you doing photography because it looks bad on us. And as a result of that message, that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I blocked all of them, didn't speak to any of them again. And it's been 8 years. Since then, I've worked with Canon, I've worked with the North Face, I've worked with Chisholm Hunter, because Chisholm Hunter are the place to get your watches and they're awesome. But I've worked with some really incredible brands, I've met some incredible people, I've traveled to incredible parts of the world. None of that would have been possible. None of that would have been possible if I'd listened to my friends. So yes, other people might give you a different perspective, but never let it mold your opinion, because your opinion is what matters. At number three, we've got not wearing your watch. And this happens so much more than you might realize. Never ever see a scratch to your watch as a bad thing, as a negative. See it as a battle scar. See it as a memory of when you were hiking and by accident hit the watch off a wall or whatever it might have been. If you're in the hobby for the right reasons and not to sell that watch, it doesn't really matter because it's yours. That scratch makes your watch uniquely your watch and has your memories attached to said watch. So if you buy a watch, don't be afraid to wear it. And I know that those first few scratches will be painful. Trust me, I know I've got far too many watches, but after a while you learn to love them. You learn to have value for the wear of your watch. At number four, we have not building a community, not connecting with other watch enthusiasts. That's kind of what this hobby, what this collector's obsession is about, really. I have met so many people through the Chisholm Hunter channel, through the Chisholm Hunter Instagram page, even through my own photography Instagram, which is HB Life Lens, that like watches. And instantly you strike a bond with these people that you didn't realize you had. You can talk for hours about watches, and then all of a sudden that moves into talking about life, and then that moves into talking about whatever you're doing that weekend, and then you meet up for drinks at the weekend and you've got a friend. That's what this community is about. It's about bringing fellow watch enthusiasts together. At number 5, we have a common one, but unfortunately, it's a horrible one actually, and unfortunately it happens far too often. It is buying a fake watch, or buying something that has had aftermarket parts thrown on it, which destroys the watch in general. It's not the original watch, it's been tampered with in some kind of way. Unfortunately, this does happen, and it happens a lot more than you think, and that is why you need a trusted, authorized dealer that has built a reputation over the years and has come highly recommended. I've had so many friends that have been stung with this, especially on Facebook Marketplace. They'll go on, they'll say, this watch is extremely cheap, it's so good. And then I'll say, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. You kind of get what you pay for within the industry. And this is not a plug for Chisholm Hunter, not at all. There's so many brilliant authorized retailers that you can go to, but get an authorized, authenticated, good, trustworthy retailer that has experience when you're buying your watch. At number 6, we have being too headstrong in your taste. And what I mean by that is, if you don't like something, for example, 3 o'clock date windows, don't kill everyone in the comments because they like 3 o'clock date windows. Just leave it be. Everyone has their own opinions. Everyone has their own tastes, their own styles, their own color preferences, and that's fine. You don't need to slam other people for liking that particular aspect of a watch. So opinions are great, but just be mindful that someone might have a really sentimental watch that their grandpa gave them and they love it dearly, and you are slating that watch because it has a 3 o'clock date window. So just be mindful. At number 7, we have water resistance isn't that important. I recently reviewed a Hamilton Khaki Scuba Navy, or Hamilton Navy Scuba Khaki, something along those lines. And a lot of people were saying, oh, it's a diving watch. Why does it only go to 200 meters of water resistance? And I'll tell you a story. We went diving in Monaco with Pierre Fuller. I think that's how you pronounce his second name. He actually held the world record for free diving. He went to 123 meters underwater. He exploded his eardrum. His eardrums exploded when he was going down. That's how deep he went, and that's how much the pressure was pushing on his eardrums. He taught us one at a time how to free dive. And I went to 6 meters underwater. 6. And he held the world record for a period of time and went to 123 meters. So I think with 200 meters of water resistance, you should be fine. At number 8, we have watch straps can totally change the personality, look, and feel of your watch. Now, I know that a lot of people might know that, but not necessarily implement it. If you were getting bored of your watch, if it's getting a little bit stagnant, please try putting a rubber strap on it, putting a NATO strap on it, trying different looks, styles, and colors, because it can totally revitalize your watch. For example, I've gone through the bracelet, the rubber, and the NATO on my Omega Seamaster. I'll probably side with the rubber, to be totally honest. I think I prefer that just as a look, as a vibe. But I needed to work through all of them to see what I preferred. And also, I've got brilliant use out of my Omega because I never get bored of it. I just flip another strap on it and it looks fresh. At number 9, we have judging a watch by its specs. Very like judging a book by its cover. You just can't ever know how a watch will look and feel on the wrist unless you come into a boutique, maybe a Chisholm Hunter, and try it on. Put it on the wrist, see how it looks in different lights. I think part of the reason why people are attracted to the outdoor videos that I do on the channel, for example, in Iceland, I think the thing that attracted people to those videos is the fact that you could see the watch in a different environment, not in a studio environment. Everybody within a studio environment is probably a photographer and probably a videographer, meaning that they'll make the watch look its best. But the watch doesn't always look its best if you're out and about using it every day because you don't have perfect lighting. You're probably just in natural light. So it's a good thing to try on to see how it looks and feels outside of the YouTube screen. At number 10, we have sentimental attachment is everything. Buy a watch to mark an occasion. Buy a watch to celebrate something. buy a watch for a birthday, give a watch as a gift. These mementos can be carried for hundreds of years, literally, and passed down through the generations. They are really treasured by a lot of people, and that's why they make incredible gifts and also just incredible moments in time. For example, when I hit 30, or here's a good example. My brother hit 30 very recently. I'm sorry, Max, I'm totally calling you out here. So my brother hit 30, and the watch that he got for his 30th was an IWC. I don't want to say specifically which one, but it's absolutely beautiful. And on the back of it, my parents, my family engraved that watch. And forever and always now, he'll look at that watch and be reminded of a really special time in his life, a time where he hit 30 years old. And also a celebration of what he's achieved since then, because it's a hell of a lot. He's a really incredible man. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you have anything else to add that people do that's a little bit odd when collecting watches. If you have enjoyed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Follow our Instagram at Chisholm Hunter Watches or my Instagram at HP Lifelens. And I'll see you guys real soon.